protests, against the police shootings. And it's like I constantly keep coming across this officer, and I can't help but wonder if everything happens for a reason, and I just happen to keep having these interactions with this officer that's getting a little bit of information at a time. And there's this one song, "Get Up, Stand Up, Stand Up
I know
for
that
Your
one very
Rights."
well. We did that
he was
in
playing
60s
that
and
song
70s.
out of his cop car. Some of you may have been a part of the bike ride where they shut down the city for a day on a Sunday, and people ride around northeast Portland. I participated in that. And I saw him, and he nodded at me, and he just had a memory of the conversation that we had. He also confronted me when I was bullhorning people at the Rose Garden. That was the officer you saw at the very end of the video several weeks ago. And so I know there's a guy out there thinking about the things, the information that I gave him, even more so as things go on, and he's integrated more and more into this martial law system. All of this stuff needs to be looked at, the things that are possible when we share info to others. It gets people thinking.
Yeah, I'm very glad that your program's on because you get me thinking, and I don't know how motivated I can become because of my disability.
The best thing you can do for the show is to let other people know that the show exists.
I will certainly not avoid speaking what I believe is the truth.
Well, I appreciate you watching the show. Please pass on the message that shows like this do exist. There's a lot of information out there. All we've got to do is look. And I want to thank you for your call because we're going to cover a couple other things before we go out. It looks like we only have about 8 minutes left. So this is very key. Bill, let's bring up this graphic. I want to go over this quickly because I want to make sure that you're aware that this is going on. This is from April 11th, 2010. The headline reads, "Joint Riot Control Exercise Strengthens Local Law Enforcement Ties." Now, it reads that members of the 142nd Fighter Wing Security Forces Squadron participated in a joint riot control exercise with local law enforcement organizations, this is here in the Northwest, and the 186th Military Police Company, April 11, 2010. The goal of this exercise was to train airmen and soldiers in crowd management, managing you, and crowd control techniques for riot scenarios they may encounter while activated. The Portland Police Bureau, Vancouver Police Department, Clackamas County Sheriff's Office, and Port of Portland Police participated as trainers for the exercise. This exercise is relevant to the Guard because they may be called on to assist, says Sergeant Ryan Lee. From the Portland Police Bureau, he pointed out the military members were called on during Hurricane Katrina, the recent earthquake in Haiti, and the Rodney King riots. By the way, there were riots in Oakland recently after the officer that shot a black man in the back at point-blank range in a subway after he was convicted on involuntary manslaughter charges, which means he probably won't do any time. Riots broke out in Oakland several nights ago. Going back to the report, this exercise is relevant to the Guard because they may be called on to assist, says Ryan Lee. 22 members of the 142nd Fighter Wing Student Flight also participated in the training as members of a fictitious mob to help the 142nd Security Forces Squadron train for riot control scenarios. One of the students said, "I realized," one of the members, "I don't ever want to be in a riot where the Air National Guard is there." And again, this was written by a military man, so that very statement there's almost intimidating, like, oh, let's put that in. Oh, we don't want to mess with that. Oh, let's put that statement in there. During the training, 142nd SFS members conducted takedown techniques while fellow squadron members held the line and stood shoulder to shoulder in a straight line formation used to maintain a perimeter to control a riot situation. He remarked, this member of the Guard, that he didn't know what to expect at first, but he felt a huge adrenaline rush acting as a rioter. He felt a, quote, huge adrenaline rush acting as a rioter. So they play the role of the anarchists. They're actively admitting they're playing the roles of the rioters in these drills. And they train for the drills before the protests happen, and then we have the black bloc of the anarchists, the men in black, they're smashing cop cars, the cops respond, the military respond, women are snatched off the streets, and fingers are put in there, you know what. You know where the rest of this goes. It's all being set up to enslave and rape us in multiple forms, economically, physically, psychologically, spiritually, if they can. There are many people that are said to have sold their souls to this system, but I say to you, you can't sell your soul, you can only lease it out. And there's a lot of people that have leased out their soul to this system that need to get it back. Now, Oregon Airmen to participate in national training exercise. This came out recently. Now, this exercise started yesterday. It's dubbed Patriot 10, and it's the only annual joint training event sponsored by the National Guard Bureau. 1,000 personnel are expected to participate in the exercise. Staff will include 250 military medical personnel from across the United States, international participants from the Netherlands and Canada, foreign troops. Now let's move to the next headline. Czech military to help National Guard establish chemical warfare unit. According to Texas National Guard Chief Commander General Jose Mayorga, soldiers from the Czech military, 31st Brigade of Radiation, Chemical, and Biological Protection will help their U.S. counterparts establish a similar unit in Texas. The soldiers are expected to arrive somewhere next month. Next graphic. Bill, just go through the next slides. This is the general on the left, and the general on the right is from the Czech Republic. Now, this is pertaining to Chicago. In Chicago, we saw Latvian and Polish troops joining the terror drills there. So, Bill, let's rotate through these. These are Polish troops. And we're running out of time, Bill, so let's go through all of them so the information gets out there. Let's get it out. So yeah, let's show the people all the different slides. We'll just keep going through, and I'll read it because we are actually out of time in 2 minutes, Bill. So I want to show them all the reports. So these are Latvian troops, and sometimes I don't get a chance to show the reports, but we are doing that tonight. We will just keep going on. And so this is what we're seeing here. Let's go to the next one. Afghanistan. U.S. says minerals in Afghanistan are worth $1 trillion. And the next headline, 46 U.S. warships plus 7,000 U.S. Marines are en route to Costa Rica. In the next headline, Obama civilian force can aid wary troops. In the next headline, we see a new bill that gives Obama the kill switch to shut down the internet. In the next headline, China denies military exercise aimed at U.S. The next headline, U.S. Tomahawk missiles deployed near China send a message. The United States, folks, has sent about 500 Tomahawk missiles right next to China. And so there are major preparations for war underway, not only in ships going to Costa Rica, not only in ships going to China, but ships going to Iran as well. And, of course, we have some other things as well. What we did not get a chance to play tonight were some strange videos of UFOs over China. Now, maybe we'll have some time to show them next week, but this dovetails with this article about super weapons being deployed. Let's go to the next graphic. In China. And this is a super weapon that Obama has recently released to the military, authorized the military to use, that can strike any target in the world in 1 hour. And so major preparations are being made right now for World War III. Please get prepared beyond this physical sense, but more in the spiritual sense, and understand that life is not going to stay like this forever. We're going through massive, massive changes. Mama did not say there were going to be days like this. In fact, many of our mothers and fathers are laughing at some of us that are sharing this information. Some of you, though, that are mothers and fathers, you're having to deal with your children that are laughing at you when you're warning them about these things. Remember, you can only convince so many family members, because you're family, that these things are important. What you got to realize and understand is that you can only try to help so much other people. It comes down to free will. On an individual level, you've got enough information at your fingertips by now. Hopefully, those of you that have watched the show over the last couple of years, to realize you can only count on yourself when this stuff comes down. And the beauty that's going to come about from the crisis is people coming together and putting aside their own personal differences. Now, I'm going to be by the phone for the next 10 to 15 minutes. And I'm going to be talking to some potential volunteers to help out the new Outside the Box Preparedness Center. We've got some painting we've got to do next week. So if you want to be a part of that particular operation, we will be working on that very, very soon. I want to thank you all for watching. I apologize for not being able to get to all the news that I wanted to, but hopefully you will take this stuff seriously and actually Google it, look up the information, and share it with others as you see fit. Until next week, I'm Alex Hansen, reminding you the path to the ultimate truth still starts in one place, within. Good night.